for it.
Okay. Tina, thanks for taking the time. So why should wine be sold in grocery stores?
Well, first of all, we need to save the upstate economy and agriculture in New York State. You know, agriculture preserves farmland, and I know most people are in favor of that, preserving open spaces, and you can see this is just beautiful here. We're a sixth-generation family farm, and it's not like we can pick our vines up out of the ground and move to North Carolina where their wine industry is booming because they have wine and grocery stores.
Mm-hmm. So would it be, you know, specialized wines being sold in grocery stores, or would those be kept in the liquor store and the more mass-marketed wines go there? I mean, how would this look exactly?
Well, you know, we believe in open markets. It works in 35 other states. It works in every major grape-growing state. And, you know, our belief is that the more wine that's sold and available, it wouldn't have to be, you know, just one kind of wine. It could be the low-end wine, the high-end wine. As long as there's more markets and more availability, then we're going to increase all wine sales in New York State, not only local wine, but all wine sales and revenues for the state and job growth.
And I know you have some liquor stores on your side, but there are many liquor stores who are, or liquor store owners who are opposed to this.
I think there's a lot more that are afraid to speak up, just like there's a lot of wineries afraid to speak up. You know,
why would they be afraid to speak up?
Well, maybe you need to go talk to some other folks, but there's been some boycotting going on, and that's against the law, but I can't really speak all the way on that. But we have proved that in states that allows wine and grocery stores, the liquor industry thrives, and it's growing, and there's more liquor stores per capita in every single one of those states than we have here in New York. Do you know we're 46th on the list of wine outlets per capita? That's ridiculous for a state our size.
But it's only a small portion of the state. Do you think there would be more wineries that would grow as a result of this? And where would they go?
Well,
would there be more in Seneca Lake here?
Certainly. Well, we're already gaining more wineries. However, we're losing wineries at the same time. We've had just as many wineries go out of business on this lake that have opened in the last year. The main thing is it's going to allow the wineries we currently have to grow, to be able to employ more people, to be able to put in more tanks, to be able to buy more grapes. It's just going to allow our entire industry to grow.
Will New York ever be on the level of, say, like California or Washington or a West Coast state that has, you know, vineyards up and down the coast?
Absolutely. We can be there as long as we can get more markets. The quality of wine produced here is amazing. We win awards all over the world. There's no reason why we can't compete on a national and international level as long as we can get more markets and get more people aware of what it is that we do here.
And, you know, you've lobbied on this issue in Albany yourself personally.
Absolutely, yes.
Why is it, though, that we keep seeing this legislation come up every year? Most recently it failed last year. Governor Andrew Cuomo hasn't even really taken a stance on the issue yet. Everybody says it means a lot of revenue for the state, a state that needs a lot of revenue. Why does it keep failing?
Well, I'm a believer that, you know, this is our chance this year. Now that Governor Cuomo has, you know, tackled some of the, you know, other important things and kind of controversial stuff, he's now focusing on upstate economy and all the new economic development councils he's created. And I think now's a perfect time for him to focus on this kickstart to the upstate economy. Wine and food stores will give the added revenues and jobs to get this whole thing going. And we're not even asking for any of the economic development money. You know, this is giving money to the state to help economic development.
But the issue is there's always been this opposition historically to but why the opposition, why the staunch opposition that appears to be so effective?
The liquor stores would lose their monopoly. But I'm a firm believer that if they give it a chance and they take this new bill with all the new opportunity it allows them to grow their businesses, I firmly believe that we'll see our liquor store industry grow as well as our wine industry grow.
And how many acres and how many people, how many acres do you have here, do you plant on, and how many people do you employ year-round, seasonally?
We have 85 acres planted currently. We would plant more if we had a market for more grapes, and we would preserve more farmland on beautiful Seneca Lake, as you can see. We currently employ 7 full-time year-round with benefits, and we use seasonal labor as needed to keep ourselves caught up.
And where do you sell your wine? Where do you sell ultimately the product?
Well, we don't make wine. We grow wine grapes, about 20 varieties. We sell to almost 30 wineries throughout the Finger Lakes and Pennsylvania, the Hudson Valley, and out to Western New York.
Okay, do you do out-of-state or out-of-region sales at all?
Like I said, down to Hudson Valley we do quite a bit, and a little bit to Pennsylvania. Just we'd love to sell it all in the Finger Lakes, but we don't have the market.
What about the regulation in the last couple of years on the wine industry in New York? Have you seen it? I mean, the wine and grocery stores issue aside, have you seen regulation in New York on wineries go up, go down? What's the state of that?
Well, personally, you need to talk to a winery owner to understand specifically how that stuff affects them. We strictly grow the wine grapes, so I wouldn't want to speak on their behalf what things have been made easier or harder for them in the past.
But the industry as a whole has been doing better or worse in the last 10, 15 years?
We've been staying steady. We haven't seen the growth. You know, they said we're a $3 billion industry in the state of New York, but it's been that same $3 billion for the last 10, 15 years. We want to go to, $6 billion. We want to contribute more to our economy in the state.
And the issue of spin-off jobs and a spin-off economy in this area. Obviously, there's a lot of tourism on the Seneca Lake Wine Trail.
Absolutely.
What sort of spin-off jobs are created? What sort of spin-off businesses are created by this industry?
By this industry, it creates bed and breakfast. We're getting more and more of the upscale restaurants in our area that creates jobs. In Geneva, there's the Vance Metal. They make the wine tanks, and there's Waterloo Container that's over there that does the wine bottles. And there's a big, huge company, and I wish I could remember their name off the top of my head, that would love to build a multi-million-dollar bottling plant in upstate New York to add the economy, but they'll only do it if wine goes in grocery stores.
Okay.
So that there's more of a market here for our wineries to grow.
Okay, Tina, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.